What's up everybody, it's your boy Collins Diambo and welcome again to another episode of Hoop Diaries. So today I'm going to be talking about something I feel like every player should think about if they really want to win, but maybe there's a challenge in how you prepare and you prepare in the wrong way, and when you go into the game things don't work out the way you want them to be. Winning starts way earlier, before the lights, before the crowd, before the coach calls your name, before you get even a jersey. Now, there's a quote by Sun Tzu that says, victorious warriors win first before they go to war, while defeated warriors go to war and then seek to win. And when you read that and you think about basketball, for me what came to my mind is that the fact that I feel like a lot of young players are trying to become confident during the game. Trying to lock in during the game. Watu hupenda kusema sana. Lock in majamaa, tujisukume. Unajaribu kujisukuma time ya game. Trying to suddenly become disciplined during the game. But the reality is that is not how things work. The game only exposes those who are ready. If you're not ready, you're exposed, by the way, but in a wrong way. So today, I want us to break down some 5 ways players can win fast before ever stepping on the court, before going for a game or something like that. Okay, now if you really understand this, your whole approach to basketball will change. Number 1, very important, by the way, you win through systems. First thing is you must be clear on a particular system that you're going to be using to help you improve as a basketball player. Most players focus on their motivation. They operate based on motivation, how they feel. Some days you'll feel like, I'm locked in. Some days you feel like you're not locked in. You don't feel like training. But the great players, the serious players, go and do whatever they're supposed to do based on their system, no matter how they feel. So basically, a system is something that helps you stay consistent no matter how you feel. For example, when you wake up, when do you train? What are you training for? Is it dribbling? Is it shooting? How do you warm up? How often do you shoot in a week? Wacha ile zoezi ya team yako peke yako. Okay? And I'm talking about somebody who has that opportunity, who has that time. Do you stretch daily? Do you do your mobility workouts? Do you watch film? Are you interested in watching basketball and watching plays and trying to break down what happened before, they scored or before they played that good defense? Based on your role, actually. Do you recover properly? Do you sleep? Do you drink a lot of water? All these things are important because if your growth depends on emotions, your growth will always be inconsistent. Kwa sababu emotions zako pia ni inconsistent. The players improving faster and faster are not always the most talented. Most of the times, there are players who are just more organized. Wako tu more organized. Wanafocus kwa vitu kidogo na wanachambua hizo vitu. They show up and they work on those things. And honestly, this applies to even your life outside basketball. Your life is moving in a particular direction, and it is based on your systems. Okay, number 2, you win fast in preparation. This is very, very important, Jama. Preparation, how you prepare. A lot of young players want confidence without preparation, but it is the truth. Real confidence comes from repetition. Repetition where? In your preparation. You can always tell the difference between, a prepared player and a player who's unprepared very easily. For example, we go into a game. A prepared player is very calm. Even a prepared team is very calm. Under pressure, they don't look rushed. They get into the court, wametulia. They're not like jogging everywhere, wako hesitant, wame relaxed, confident, even the way they walk, because preparation changes your energy. If you're prepared well, yani tutaona yani. Sasa huyu jamaa anakatu mzee. Because your conditioning speaks, your handle speaks, your shot will speak, how you make decisions will speak. You understand? And here's the thing, you cannot hide things. You cannot hide these things, I mean, when it comes to game day. And what you should focus on is, when it comes to game day, you're not there to discover yourself. Think about that. When it comes to game day, you're not there to discover yourself. You're not there to introduce yourself to yourself. You understand? When it comes to game day, it should be all about you revealing all the work that you've been doing. And that is why great players take practice seriously. Ni as simple as that. Ka upendi zoezi bro, game itakuanga tu ngumu kila time. Because they already know, our great players, they already know the game is just a test. But in practice, pale zoezi, that is where you study. You understand? So think about that. Number 3, you win fast in practice habits. What are your practice habits? Let's talk about practice. Lazima upange venye unachapa zoezi. You can just be there busy, sweating, jumping up and down, but you're not focused. Because 2 players can attend the same practice, and I've seen this, maybe if you're a team you've seen this, but improve completely differently. Tuko the same, tunatrain hata maybe pamoja, but you'll see a difference. But why is that happening? Because of habits. Some players just go through the workout session or through the drills, or they just show up for practice so that, they make the team or they get a jersey during the weekend. But other players train with intention. They are players who focus on everything they are doing. So there's a huge difference between, doing workouts and actually getting better. Good practice habits like, kila kitu unafanya unataka ikuwe at game speed. Kila kitu unafanya, you're trying to communicate. You're trying to imagine the situations in a game. You are focused on everything. You're trying to encourage your teammates. You're trying to visualize what is going to happen in a real game situation. And even the great players ask for feedback. They ask questions and they are listening. Listening is a huge one. And each and every week they're trying to repeat, their weak areas. They're trying to improve. At times, some of these great players, they'll come before practice, and after practice they'll stay back, maybe to take a number of shots. And this applies if you can, but it's a good thing. Just to put in that extra effort, it also builds you up mentally. These great players will pay attention to details. And wanaenda kuwatch at a film after you. They'll even record themselves and then go watch. Because, honestly, a lazy practice creates a frustrated player. A lazy practice creates a frustrated player. But disciplined habits create trust. And coaches trust players who are consistent. So make sure you're consistent and the coach will trust you. Na utakuwa unafikiria playing time. Itakuwa automatic. Number 4, you win fast with the role clarity. This is one thing that I feel like mazeni ningelana hata kitambo sana, ingenisaidia sana kwa career yangu. Because once you understand your role in that particular team that you're playing for, it will help you plan your habits, plan your workouts. And a lot of players struggle because they're trying to be everything. Huo umeona highlight jana Anthony Edwards amefanya kitu, unajaribu kufanya. Ama Steph amefanya kitu, unajaribu kwenda kutrainia. Ama kuna Karil fulani umeona. Everyone wants to score. Everyone wants to be that guy. Hiyo ina affecting teams mingi sana. But basketball doesn't work like that. Tunafaa kujua. Winning players understand that their role is very important and they focus on dominating on that role. So kuna role limepewa, maybe ni defending, rebounding, being the point guard, being the energy guy, spacing the floor if you are a good shooter, bringing the energy, mseka area local pale hivyo Thunder, kwa point guard mwenye una-initiate fast offense, facilitating the team. Once you understand this role, then you decide to master that role. And you master that role, my friend, utakuwa mzee. Because teams not only need stars, superstars. Hapana. Saa zingine pia teams need reliable players. And the way you become a reliable player is by understanding and working on your role. And sometimes players delay their growth because uni msee manze ego yake imetake over and it's fighting their assignment. So they can't even focus on their role. They can't focus on a few things, master those things, and then continuously improve. They try to do everything. Understand? And what you have to understand is you have to know your role right now based on the team that you're playing for, because that will give you a balance, which is very important in helping you win when it comes to game time. Number 5, manze, you win by your standards. You win by your standards because your standards actually shape your future. Not your dreams, not your captions. It's your structures and your standards. What do you allow yourself to do daily? Do you allow laziness? Do you allow excuses? Do you allow poor effort? Do you allow inconsistency? What do you allow? Remember, I'm saying, what do you allow? So it's you allowing it. Because eventually, what you tolerate becomes who you are. I think Tony Robbins alisemanga hiyo kitu, ama hapo ndo nilisikia mara ya kwanza. Serious players hold themselves accountable. Even when nobody's watching. Hapo sasa, even when nobody's watching, they still hold themselves accountable. And that separates committed players from just interested players are tunawajua. They're just interested in playing the game, making the team, playing a game here or there. Because interested players train when it is convenient. Committed players train because that is who they are. Okay? So before you focus on winning games, focus on winning privately first, when nobody is watching. Win on your habits, win on your structures, win on your preparation, you understand? Win on your systems, win on your discipline, win on your focus, on your energy, on your consistency, win on your mindset. Hizi vitu ndogo ndogo yani. And as you continuously do that, day in, day out, one day you'll see the results. And honestly, from my own point of view, this also applies in teams. Because great teams don't just suddenly go into a game and have a great game. They build their winning culture long before the game starts. In fact, after their last game, they start building on the next game. So the question is, are you going to war fast, hoping to win? Or are you building systems? Are you building yourself to make sure that you are ready for that day, to make sure that you are ready for that victory? Now, if this episode helped you, make sure you tag your teammate, your coach, make sure you subscribe, and if there's something you want me to talk about, please let me know in the comment section. Okay? I hope this message was of value to you. It's your boy Collins Odiambo, and I'm out. Till the next episode, remember, your game, your responsibility, and be a hooper after God's heart. Do you have? Peace.
Yes, it's that time again. Collins in the lab, letting stories begin. From the court to the mic, he breaking it down. Hoop dreams, real talk, no cap, no clown. Bounce like a dribble, mind sharp like a pivot. Life lessons in the game, he gon' make you feel it. Late nights, bright lights, goals in the fog. Every episode a gem, welcome to the Lord. On Hoop Diaries, yes, more than a score. It's heart, it's hustle, it's truth at the core. So press play, lean back, let the moment ride. It's Collins on the mic, take that journey inside. Yo, lace up the kicks. It's that time again. Collins in the lab, letting stories begin. From the court to the mic, he breaking it down. Hoop dreams, real talk, no cap, no clown. Bounce like a dribble, mind sharp like a pivot. Life lessons in the game, he gon' make you feel it. Late nights, bright lights, goals in the fog. Every episode of Jam, welcome to the log. On Hoop Diaries, yeah, it's more than a score. It's heart, it's hustle, it's truth at the core. So press play, lean back, let the moment ride. It's Collins on the mic, take that journey inside.